Hey, so you've heard a lot already about how internal landscape affects what we do. And if you could put it to the next slide, please. Actually, I have this. Yeah, there we go. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is how our emotions affect our revenue. Yeah, you heard me right. How our emotions affect our revenue. Now, I've studied the works of Dr. David Hawkins. He was a quantum physicist in the 70s, and he studied human consciousness. And what he uncovered was that as human beings, we expand, we grow, and we raise in our consciousness level and our emotional vibration as we shed and let go of our emotional baggage. And in fact, the new cognitive triangle in psychology tells us that emotions dictate our thoughts. We've heard about our thoughts, thanks to Dr. Yasmin earlier. Our thoughts dictate our feelings, and our feelings dictate our actions. So you might say to me, well, Micaela, okay, got it. I get it. Okay, our emotions, we feel a certain way and we'll do something, or we might not do something. We might, react, or we might respond. But how does it really affect our revenue? So I'm going to demonstrate something. And by the way, I have a lot of information to share in a small amount of time. So I'm going to make sure that you've got your pen and paper and that you're really present for this, because what I'm going to share is going to affect the way that you show up and lead in your personal life and in your business. So just think about this. You're a young kid, young child. You get criticized. And so all of a sudden, the trapped emotion of low self-esteem, you start holding. Okay, maybe as a young adult, you're in a relationship, you get rejected, your heart is broken. So now heartache becomes a trapped emotion. Or maybe as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you tried and you put a lot of effort into what you did, but you failed miserably. So now, the trapped emotion of failure. And as you can see, it starts getting heavy, right? The emotional baggage that we accumulate throughout our life weighs deeply on our heart space. And so then maybe you go about your life and something happens. Maybe it's a botched business deal. Maybe it's a sale's gone wrong. And there are more trapped emotions like fear, overwhelm, no confidence. Right? And you go about your life carrying these emotional baggages. So how does this affect us, right? What do we do? And we go about this and it starts affecting every single thing that we do, right? Emotions create thoughts. Thoughts create feelings. Feelings have us take our action. So what does this relate to our revenue? Ladies, I'll give you your bags back in a little bit. They're really heavy. Because our actions dictate our results. So let's talk about it. We're entrepreneurs right here in the room. What do we get to do every single day in our business? We get to lead generate. We get to deliver our products and services. We get to sell, we get to speak, we get to present, we get to interact, we get to network, we get to become visible. All of these things are actions. But if I'm holding on to an emotion that is affecting the way that I feel, because maybe I'm afraid to show up as my true self, or maybe I'm afraid to be pushy, or maybe I am afraid that I'm going to fail, right? Our emotions are unconsciously dictating every single thing that we do. Everything that's present in your life right now has an emotional birth. And it has an emotional birth from your past. You know, both Deborah and Micaela shared a little bit about this earlier. If you remember Micaela's slide where it says 10% and 90%, right? So our brain can only hold that 10%, our conscious brain. So we receive information, just think about from the day you're born until today, how many millions of terabytes of information have you received, right? A lot. But consciously, we can't hold it. So it all gets stored in the subconscious. And the heart is the seat of the subconscious. How many of you have, maybe you wanted to say something to someone, but you just felt your heart clench and you held back, right? Or how many of you maybe picked up the phone to do a sales call and you heard the person's tone of voice? It's like, oh, this might be a bad day for her. Let me hold back. Let me just say hi, right? So everything that's happening within us has an emotional birth. And everything that we are led to push through in our business comes from a subconscious conversation. And so the subconscious is really where we hold everything. So how can we dig deep into the subconscious and understand what are these emotions? What are the trapped emotions that are holding me back? By the way, on average, every human being on this planet, and there's about almost 8 billion of us, it happens to everybody, we hold about 300 to 400 trapped emotions in our heart space, depending on how traumatic our life has been, maybe how difficult it's been, and how old we are. But we hold these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trapped emotions. And so what we really want to wake up to is understanding how we can manage our emotional landscape so that we can identify the trapped emotions, release them and reprogram them, creating new conversations in the subconscious. I'm going to share with you a couple of case studies just to kind of bring home how our emotions are absolutely affecting what we do. So my client, Mona, she actually was a senator in the state of Washington in the US. And after her stint as a senator, she didn't really know where to go. She was doubting herself. She didn't know what her next step was. So after working together and really understanding what were those emotional bursts, was she able to actually step into what she currently does, which is really help leaders who want to make an impact in their business and in their life and in the lives of others, create powerful, powerful messages. Or, for example, my client, Sarah, she came to me when her business took a nosedive. It took a nosedive because something triggered her back to when she was a young child and when she had been criticized and stifled by her father. And she didn't realize that that trigger actually allowed her to lose belief in her products and services, even though she had amazing testimonials, even though she had clients clamoring and saying, "Oh my God, thank God for you, Sarah." She couldn't believe it. And so in working together and unraveling the subconscious and releasing the trapped emotions, in 45 days, she was able to quadruple her income and come back alive. And most importantly, she was able to come back and believe in herself, believe in her product, believe in her service, and believe in the impact that she was doing with her clients. Or my other client, Joseph, who, he had a failed business and had some issues in the family and really was trying to get his footing back in business. And in doing this work, he was able to manifest and generate $100,000 in one day. So these are the powerful effects that we can all create. These aren't one-offs. These aren't unique. We can all access them myself included, I've been able, thanks to this type of work, to create a multiple million-dollar real estate portfolio because I was able to really get down and dirty into what was holding me back from truly stepping into my purpose and my legacy. So you might be asking at this point, well, I'd like to figure out what are my trapped emotions and what's holding me back. Maybe you've been in business for a while, and you're like, okay, I've gotten to this cap, but I haven't been able to go further. Or maybe you've been thinking, I know there's something deep inside that's holding me back. I don't know what it is. I can't put a finger on it, but I know that it's there. Or maybe you're just starting out and you're like, I want to do this right. I want to lead my business from the inside out, not necessarily having to grasp at what everybody else is doing. I want to show up the authentic self that I am, on purpose, consciously creating my own destiny, my own life, and my own business. So usually, I give people a chance to just come and chat with me, and from there, we can guess, right, what might be stopping you. But this time, I want to offer you an opportunity to actually dig deep, to actually do the work. So it's my emotional money mastery session. I usually charge $1,000 an hour. But this session, it'll be a full 1-hour session. We'll release up to 5 trapped emotions. For today here at the summit only, it's 197 pounds. You can go to that QR code. We'll create anchoring tools. I use several different tools to do this. One of them is affirmations. And so the first 8 people that actually purchase this session and come to the table here after my panel session, I will give them my affirmations book, How to Write Powerful Affirmations, and autograph it for you. So my time is up for my presentation. But I'm going to leave you with this. Everything that you have right now today is the effect of something that you chose or that you took action on in the past. What are you going to create in your future that you're going to decide today? Thank you so much.